Welcome to the third and final public hearing of the Baltimore County Council Structure Work Group. Since November, this group has met I think it's 9 times. They've researched different jurisdictions in Maryland and across the country in terms of the size and structure of their local legislators. We've looked at the fiscal impacts of changing the structure of the county council and possible additions of council members. And to be honest, it's been a great pleasure working with them. So let me introduce the chair of the group, Dr. Tony Campbell. Take it away.
Good evening. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, staff. Let the other members of the work group introduce themselves. I want to personally, publicly thank the staff for their fantastic work on this because as much as we've met over the last 3 months, everything that we've basically talked about, discussed, made decisions on, they basically put that into this report, to the draft report that you see online. So, done a fantastic job of putting this stuff together. So I want to thank them. Again, my name is Dr. Tony Campbell. I was chosen chair of this work group, and let the other members of the work group introduce yourself, beginning with Mr. Dorsey.
Hi, my name is Keith Dorsey. I served for 35 years. So, last 12 courses as finance, every aspect of the district and certification.
Hi, my name is Jeff Mayhew. I'm appointed by the council as demographer. I'm retired from Baltimore County Department of Planning for 31 years. Many of that working with census, school.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura Bacon. I'm the appointee for Councilman District 1. I'm an attorney and a former staffer in the Baltimore County Council. I've been in Catonsville since 2007.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sheila Lewis. I was appointed by Councilman District 2. I'm a very avid and strong community advocate, and I do have a lot of experience. I'm a appointed community relations commissioner, board member, secretary of the Ramstown NDC. Glad to have this opportunity to work because not only am I interested in ensuring that the workload amongst the council members is measured, but that the residents have ample opportunity to have access to their council members with appropriate representation.
When I was appointed by council to
My role not only as well as being the chair appointed by the council, but I was also appointed by the council for my teaching at Towson University, political science, American government, political theory for the last 20 years. So that's my role. All right, so I want to turn it over to Adam here for a minute to go through the summary of our preliminary work recommendations that you can see online.
So as the chair said, we did release the work group did release a preliminary draft report with some draft recommendations. And the work group has tried to make very clear that these are draft recommendations and that the reason we've had our 2 public hearings now is to solicit input and feedback for those recommendations. So the top line recommendation is to expand the Baltimore County Council to 9 members, all elected by district, starting with the 2026 election. This would require placing a question on the 2024 ballot to get the voters' approval for that expansion. The other recommendations include increasing compensation of council members to be commensurate with full-time professionals, increasing the council's staffing budget, and the last part is linking the last recommendation, linking any future changes in the county council to the county's population. So if the county would fall below 700,000, the council would revert back to 7 members. The county population would rise above 900,000, the council would increase to 11 members. Any future population-based change would occur through the course of the regular decennial redistricting cycle and start with that next councilman election. So,
Well, just know we're not really Q&A, sorry. But one editorial comment from the chair, because chair, so I can do so. Let's do such a thing. Is that the last line in that document, the documents over there, is to remove the question of whether the council should increase. Place it in the charter. There's no wiggle room of when that should happen, if that should happen. It's based on population of the county. So that would also be placed on the ballot for the voters to approve, to then change the charter for that purpose. Okay, so hopefully everybody's tracking. Right? So, at that, anything else?
just a technical note that because you as the public are facing the work group members, you are also facing away from the our recording camera and microphone, basically just an iPad. So just please remember when you do speak to speak up.
That seems a bit awkward. How about when you testify, how about standing over there? We can point the camera that way, and face it not face the camera back. I think that works, right? Yes? Okay, that's a decision. Second decision. Right. Or to serve. Okay, wait. All right, so the summary of the public input procedure, as it is online, every person will have 3 minutes if you sign up. And staff will call the name of the next person. That person will come up and testify. The clock is right there. And I think that's pretty much a process.
I did remember one other quick thing. The reason why this work group is 11 members, and we specifically wanted to have 2 public hearings so that the work group members could choose which one they were able to attend. A lot of these folks also have other duties as well.
So on that note, I think we're ready to begin. The first person, Chris, are you? Yeah.
At the last hearing,
Okay. All right.
should we fall?
I'm glad. I'm good with that. Tom Glancy is the first person.
Want people to stand?
Whatever you're more comfortable with, there or there. Right there. You're good.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
Thanks. My name is Tom Glancy. I live in District 6, and I serve as a member of the steering committee as a for more the Baltimore petition drive. Now, I'd like to start by thanking each of you for the important public service that you're providing by agreeing to serve on this work group. And let's be clear. Baltimore County needs 4 new districts, not just 2. And
As I've followed these proceedings, I haven't heard anyone argue that larger districts are in some way more desirable than smaller districts. Quite the contrary. It is undeniable that smaller districts allow council members to know their districts better, provide their residents with better access to their elected representatives, and present opportunities for new voices coming from often underserved communities to finally earn a place at the table. And to understand why Baltimore County needs and its citizens deserve 4 more districts and not just 2, look no further than Table 4 of your draft report, which compares the size of Baltimore County Council districts to those in 16 other jurisdictions across the country, which you describe as having similar populations, geographies, and government styles of Baltimore County. Table 4 makes clear that Baltimore County is an outlier when it comes to district size and would remain so even if it expands to 9 districts. Those 16 comparable jurisdictions represented in that table have an average district population of between 73 and 76,000 residents. Create 2 new council districts in Baltimore County, and it would still rank 3rd or 4th out of those 17 districts in terms of district population. Expand to 11 districts with 78,000 residents each, however, and although the size of Baltimore County districts would still exceed that average, it would at least bring us into rough parity with those jurisdictions that are most like Baltimore County. And you just take that analysis and apply it and get the same results when you compare the size of Baltimore County districts to those of the other Big 8 jurisdictions. Again, expand to 9 districts, and our districts remain among the most populous in the state. It's only with expansion to 11 districts that Baltimore County achieves districts that are somewhat comparable in size to its neighbor. And make no mistake, Baltimore County can readily afford to expand to 11 districts, as you demonstrate with Table 8, which shows that Baltimore County spends a lower and often substantially so percentage of its general fund on county council operations than do any of its Big 8 neighbors, with the exception of Frederick County. Again, with expansion to 9 districts, Baltimore County would still remain near the bottom of the Big 8 in terms of its proportional spending on county operations. It's only with expansion to 11 districts that Baltimore County re-entered the mainstream in terms of such spending. The final
All
point.
right, thank you, sir. I let you
Thank you.
go until you understand. Linda Dorsey Walker.
And everyone who here who's ever elected a full Chair Campbell, Vice Chair. I'm looking for the Chair of Vote for More, also known as 4 More for Baltimore County. I've come before you today to ask you to shorten the process of giving the public what it needs and what it already has stated it wants thousands upon thousands of times. Specifically, 4 more full status county council districts. Please recommend that the county council cease further delays. We've already waited 68 years, and place the very popular 4 more referendum question on the ballot to allow the public to choose for themselves. The public runs the government. It should never be run by the incumbents with a vested interest. First, I urge adoption by reference of both the map and chart which Keith Dorsey prepared on October 2023. Both the map and chart have been fully endorsed by the Vote for More campaign, and the configurations offer the following advantages. The variations from the average of all districts is within the acceptable levels used by with the recent redistricting. Attempts were made to preserve what many county residents consider their traditional communities. That's important. We don't want to tear up communities of interest. We want to hold them together. An additional predominant predominantly black district, more than 60% is added to the west side of Baltimore County, the area that was the subject of a lawsuit 2 years back, without diluting the strength of the existing predominantly black district. Due to voting patterns in many black precincts, a simple majority is not sufficient. It also increases the number of districts with a significant number, more than 20%, of non-black minorities, specifically the various varieties of new American groups that have moved here since 1956. These folks want greater autonomy, a closer feeling of identity and commonality with the people who represent them, not just more access. Many of them, like me, have been reviewing the videos of your meetings and frankly are becoming very disturbed by what they see as a trend to disregard demographics and diversity. That's important. It shouldn't become a throwaway item. Equity, fairness, and inclusion are very important. I know I'm running out of time, but the main thing I want you to do is Baltimore Ballot Issue Committee recommends that the Baltimore County Council proceed with adding a referendum question to the 2024 general election ballot to expand by 4 districts to 11 regular county council districts, and let the voters decide yes or no. Baltimore opposes taking the wasteful and expensive interim step of creating 9 and then having it switched to 11 in what might be less than 10 years. If you look at the growth that is surrounding the development surrounding Tradeport Atlantic, will be at 900,000 in less than 10 years. Don't waste our time.
Thank you, ma'am. Peter Rivers, please. Oh, I pronounced your name correctly.
Close.
Okay.
Chairman also provided written testimony to the members of the members of the press. I really appreciate the time that you all have invested in this very important work. It's been a significant time. I also want to thank the staff because they've always been responsible for me. I urge the board to update its draft report, which was dated March 7th, to address some of these shortcomings. As was pointed out in an earlier session, the draft report does not address one of the key directives to increasing diversity on the council. To quote from the enabling resolution, whereas Baltimore County's population has grown increasingly diverse, with people of color representing 47% of the county's population in the 2020 census report. And whereas communities of color are underrepresented in elected office when compared solely with demographic data in the county, in fact, Black residents now comprise 32% of the county's population. I concur with Mr. Jordan's recommendation that the report should note the number of public comments and in-person testimony that was received. They are almost entirely in favor of expanding the council to 11. We'll have some concerns about the process itself. On the positive side, this work group has helped residents of Baltimore County know the facts. In fact, since the 7 council districts were created in 1986, the county's population has more than doubled, while the number of districts remains the same. A different way of saying what Tom Lindsay said earlier is that Baltimore County has the region's worst ratio of county council members to constituents. In other words, a voter living in Baltimore County has less of a voice in county government than anyone living in Baltimore City, Carroll, Concord, and Arundel. The number of Baltimore County residents in this district is 30% more than the next one. My input remains expanding council to 11 districts. The council should reflect the people it represents. It's past time to add more districts to allow for better representation and to reflect the county's current demographics. Given who Baltimore County is today, it's shocking to face a council of 6 white men and a single African.
Thank you. Take that. Lorena Diaz.
Hi, my name is Lorena Diaz. I am the Central American Campaign Strategist, servicing and working with the Baltimore County community for the ACLU of Maryland, and I'm also a former resident of the county. If you've been to London, I'm considering moving back to the county. The ACLU of Maryland strongly supports expansion of the Baltimore County Council to 11 members as a proactive way that the county can make progress in fair representation for Black, Brown, and Creole residents whose votes are diluted through the current 7-district system. I have family members who live in Catonsville, Owensville, Essex, and Middle River, and sadly, they do not see themselves represented with the current council system that we have in place. BIPOC residents make up over 47% of the county's population, but still today, our community members only see themselves in just one of 7 council members. There are no women on the council, and there are no other POC members on the council. This is a problem that we must address, and the solution that we have at our hands is expanding the council from 7 to 11 members, opening up the possibility for a wider representation and a truer representation of the communities in Baltimore County. 2 Maryland counties that this committee has looked into as appropriate comparators currently have 11-member county councils. That's Montgomery County and Prince George's County. Notably, in both of these counties, the elected council members are substantially more diverse than is the Baltimore County Council, which we attribute as least important to the larger size with smaller districts. In Montgomery County, 5 of 11 current members are BIPOC and 6 out of 11 are women. In Prince George's County, 7 of 11 current members are BIPOC and 5 of 11 are women. The ACLU urges this committee to waste no time in moving forward with a strong recommendation to expand the council to 11 representatives elected from 11 single-member districts. And we also urge you to take in community input, especially since members of the community are speaking out and saying that they want 11 council members. If you not want 9, and if you not want to wait another 10, 20, 30 years for you to expand. It is important if you're holding these meetings that you are transparent with the testimonies that you're receiving, the individuals who are coming, taking time out of the day to continue to advocate for themselves and advocate for a true representation of Baltimore County. That's my notes. For Baltimore County's BIPOC residents, the lack of fair representation presents an urgent problem requiring council reform. Effective change to promote fairness and democracy for Baltimore County is within reach for all of us through the work of this committee. Thank you for your leadership and willingness to make bold changes that meets the moment that we're in. Our community members are counting on your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Keita Scott. Comes in, I'll circle back. Blaine Rose.
I have no problem with raising them to 9 and 11, but some of the equivalents you're asking for other counties have different, more diverse and different populations than we do. Like Baltimore City, for instance, they're trying to reduce the size of the council because their population is decreasing, and according to the census, so is Baltimore County's. It's gone down 10,000 in the last 3 years. I have no problem raising the council. It's been since the beginning of the charter date. That's fine. But the compensation and the size of the staff is what I'm concerned about, because by more council seats means less the number of constituents per person. So I don't understand the math.
May I have your attention, please? Storyville will be closing in 30 minutes at 7 p.m. Please use the restrooms now, as they will be locked at 7 p.m. Thank you.
That won't be counted against.
I don't understand the math, why if the count per person number of constituents are going down, why you have to increase their compensation or the size of their staff. But then that was my question is, when was the last time it was raised? If it's recent, then no, I don't agree with that. If it's been a long time, maybe not as long as the number of council members, then maybe it's time to address that. Thank you.
Thank you. Roland Patterson.
Ladies and gentlemen of the work group, my name is Roland Patterson, represent the Baltimore County branch NAACP, and I wish to bring you greetings on the part of the branch. I wonder if I were to ask, who are your favorite former U.S. presidents? Mine are Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Kennedy, Obama. I think that these men, by the hurdles they overcame and by the catastrophes they faced down, showed themselves to be brave and free. Brave and free. Against that backdrop, we're in a day on the national horizon of democracy versus autocracy. You all know that. The effects of the potential or the recommendation that's in place right now is essentially to say, going to bring a 68-year-old standard up to a 34-year-old standard. And if 60% of the population is essentially going unrepresented because the districts are too large for the council person to adequately represent them, we're going to cut that number or percentage of unrepresentation down to 34%. And we're going to let that stand for the next period of years. I suggest that there's no bravery and no freedom in that. I believe that all of the members of the council are great men and great women. But for those who advocate this position or this level of going forward, I beg to forgive it. As I prepare to go to my seat, I want you to know that while you are all appointed apparently by council and the executive, et cetera, we are all, if I'm right about it, going to judgment one day. And we're going to answer rather for the things that we've done and not done. If I'm right, and we're going to judgment, we're going to answer for allowing 34% of the people to go unrepresented when we had the opportunity to make it right. I am advocating for bravery and freedom, part of your service. I ask that you would give me a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Theodore Vickers Shelley.
Good evening. My name is Dana Vickers-Shelley. I'm a resident of Council District 2. I'm speaking in favor of adding a referendum question to the 2024 general election ballot that recommends the addition of 4 more districts to the county council. After waiting 68 long years to allow any change to occur, the time is now to create opportunity for full and fair representation in a county that has grown from 350,000 to 855,000 individuals and expanded demographically, as you heard from other speakers tonight. Please don't wait on providing full representation and participation for all Baltimore County residents. We understand what the work group is set to do, but it is very important that we acknowledge, let's not keep waiting. 68 years is too long for full representation in Baltimore County. Thank you.
Thank you. Gene Dingmus.
Good evening, members of the working group. Also, Professor Campbell, it's always a pleasure to. I'm going to speak for 2 acts. I'm going to try to be brief. First, as a resident, I live right across the border, right across Dogwood, Grace. I'm also the past president of Greystone Association. 2 years ago, we went through the redistricting fiasco. I don't know if you know, this area is now divided into 3 different council districts. And my neighborhood is 75% African American, 80% Democrat. I can assure you, just about everybody in my neighborhood is tired of getting jerked around with our councilman districts. I think it should be left the same. There's no need to expand further. I'll further add that I was Mr. Patoka's general election. And we had an awful lot of confusion. Sure, Izzy will attest to that. I had District 4 nominee for my part, putting up signs in my district. It's just ridiculous. But I can tell you, people in my neighborhood don't like the idea, including Democrats. Now, the other half is I just got reelected to the Republican Central Committee. You all know, or probably heard, we're generally for smaller government. So our chairwoman issued a statement recently on February 27th. I don't know whether the committee had a statement or not, but I assure you all 3 of our councilmen. Baltimore County Republican Party strongly opposes the expansion of more than 7 seats. Initiative to expand the county council is initiated and organized in the heavily Democratic county council work group is currently considering the expansion, whether to expand the current council to 9 or 11 seats. Current level 7. Current seats are 4 Democrat, 3 Republican. Concern is the addition of more seats in the heavy Democrat West Side and other areas. The voice for Republican councilmen, population they represent.
I should implement stuff you there, and it is like I did everybody else.
Okay.
Thank you. Is that the end of our speakers? Because that's the last one I have on this list. Oh, okay. Scott?
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good evening, neighbors. My name is Makita Scott, and I'm a resident of Owings Mills, Maryland. I live in the 4th Councilman District. I've lived here for more than 20 years, and I feel that the council should be reflective of the population that it represents. I do not feel the way the council is set up now that it is currently reflective of the population of Baltimore County, and I feel that it should reflect Baltimore County. Baltimore County is changing, and based on the changes that I've seen, I'd like to recommend that the Baltimore County Council proceed with adding a referendum question to the 2004 general election ballot to expand the council to 11 regular county council districts based on Baltimore County's increasing population. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really allow us to think kind of question.
Oh, okay. All right. Staff, is that what happened last week?
Yeah, I believe after we had all the speakers, some of the members did make some statements.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll do the same thing we did last week.
I had a question for Yes.
Yes.
You said that if we change to 11, you would move back to the county. Why did you say that?
Because then I would see myself with a counselor. I think it's very limited to where you can move, to where you feel represented, and it would be with Councilman Jones, right? That's a very limiting for individuals in Baltimore County, that they would have to only live in one specific district for them to feel represented. Whereas you can move anywhere in Baltimore County, right, and feel like you're represented, whether it's through gender, race, anything else, right? And so I lived in Owings Mills, I lived in White Marsh, and again, like I mentioned, my family lives in Essex, in Paytonsville, and these different pockets in Baltimore County, and they're just not represented in the council. And I worked at CASA with a lot of our immigrant communities, so like African immigrants, Latino immigrants, and it's just, they don't see themselves represented. So it's something very difficult, right? When you're trying to speak up and you're trying to voice and advocate for yourself, that you are, that you only have 7 individuals and 6 are white men at the moment.
You expand the council, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. You gotta get people to stand for life.
Well, we're not having this crosstalk, folks. Sorry. It's not the intent of the hearing. Any other members have any comments? Well, free to do so if you do. Do we have? Yeah, we're not doing crosstalk here. Is there anybody else that's not signed up that wants to get a chance to speak? Just make sure you sign up over there. Give you one more opportunity to do so. Did you want to say something, Councilman? I did. Yes, sir.
So hello, everybody. I'm Councilman Izzy Toke. I'm chairman of the Baltimore County Council. And I just want to thank everybody for participating in the process. This was all set up by Resolution 3223 when we established this work group and had certain benchmarks and had a mandate to come up with a set of recommendations by the end of this month. And I think the resolution indicated that there should be at least 1 meeting per month. There should be a public hearing, and I just want to acknowledge and congratulate the council because they've exceeded all of the mandates in resolution 3223. And I also, so thank you for your service. This group here is also volunteers. Here, well, yes, they work here. I also want to thank everyone that's here that provided testimony, that has worked on this process, because nobody that worked on the process is doing it to make Baltimore County worse. We're trying to do this together to make Baltimore County better, stronger, and a great place to live. So I just want to thank everyone for participating in the process. I hope we grow the council. I've been supportive of that from the very beginning, and we'll see what that growth is. But again, thanks everyone for participating.
Have We have two more people that's going to testify, right?
And I'll go ahead and call them.
Okay.
So, our next speaker would be Donna Lisa McClendon.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donna Lisa McClendon. Community for almost 30 years. And I've lived in Baltimore County longer than that. But I would like to say that I don't feel that we're represented well, especially as. And I just found out about this meeting yesterday. I'm reading some, I think I got an email. And I just read it and I just kept reading it and I was like, well, I belong, I need to be there. And we need to be represented. So I actually asked 3 friends to come along, and 2 of them are here and 2 of them are a little late, they're on their way. But I would like to say that I feel that with the election of extra people, extra in 11, I'm hoping that we get 11, that I think minorities will get a chance. There's no guarantee, but once you open it up, I think the opportunity is there. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, take your time.
Next speaker is Karen Breathwaite Yarn.
Good evening, everyone. I'm also an active member of Vote for More constituency running around the county. Day and night, rain, snow, wind, sun, getting petitions signed. Because this issue is very, very important to us. Especially now when democracy in this country is so at stake. So I was hoping that all the councilmen were going to be here today, because my first question was, do any of the councilmen support the idea of having 4 more council seats added to the county council? Does anyone, can you, sir?
Support growing the council.
4 more seats? How many seats?
Let's discuss. I don't know that this is a dialogue. I think, well, Ben, stay my position. I believe strongly that we should grow the council, and I think we should grow by 2, and grow by 2 in 2026, and then perhaps grow it by 2 more in 2030, and we'll see where that leads.
Thank you for responding. Here's my next question, ladies and gentlemen. Why is the county council comfortable with providing less than full representation to Baltimore County's growing number of voters who are members of minority groups, disabled, LGBTQ? I was hoping that perhaps the councilman would be here to answer that question. We have so many meetings about the same issue. And the question is why? When it's so obvious. The county is growing. I guess I won't get my question answered this evening, but those are.
I'll take a shot at it.
Please.
First one slide, I know. I'll let the first one slide. It's not the here, it's not the forum for this. Ma'am, if you want to talk to councilman outside of this, one-on-one, Ms. Dorsey Walker, you want to be there when she talks to him? Go for it. It's not in this public hearing, okay? That's that probably should have been allowed. That's not what we're talking about. That's not the forum. Not a back and forth. Otherwise, we get into the weeds real quick and we're not going to be here for the next 3 hours.
This is the last open meeting with the constituency. Is that correct? Before a decision is made by the county council. This is the last meeting.
And since I'm the chair, I will allow myself to answer this question. This is just a step in the process, right? The council will make its deliberation.
May I have your attention, please? Doors will be closing in 10 minutes at 7 p.m. Please use the room now.
Well,
It was
I can't-
locked at 7 p.m. Thank you.
But this is a step in the process. We're just making a recommendation as a work. The council can decide to accept it, throw it away, throw it in the circular file, burn it. They can do whatever they want to do with it. And once again, I would want to make sure that you all understand that the members of this work group have put hundreds of hours into this process. Because, you know, they want to make Baltimore County better. No one's getting paid to do this work. And staff, I mean, they're getting paid to do their job, but they put a bunch of hours in as well. So please don't think that no one in this work is doing this for any ulterior motives other than make Baltimore County better. Otherwise, you want to sign up for it.
On behalf of the constituency of Baltimore County, we thank you. for giving us this.
That's what the time is about.
We thank
I'm going one more call for anybody who wants to speak. Okay. That being said, I want to open up one more time.
I have a question.
We're not doing questions.
No, it's for.
Yes, ma'am.
But you said it's a school document. The next couple of steps.
Our charge is to present a recommendation to the council by March 31st. In my discussion with staff, I think that's just going to be a written document that's going to be presented to the council. We, as a work group, are not going to meet with the council at this point and present said document. We are just going to finish the document. We have a meeting on Monday. That's on the website. Public hearing, public meeting again. You can watch it. You can come to the council chambers and watch us do what we do on March 25th. And then that is probably our last meeting as a work.
you. You say, do what you do.
Well, as far as, we're going to discuss the public input. So last week, this week, the written document, we've had like 5 or 6 or 10 emails in the last couple of days that's been coming in as well. So March 25th, we'll get together, we'll discuss all that, and that will all be put in the stew. And I think we'll discuss what we learned here tonight and what we learned last week, and that'll get incorporated into the document. That'll be the last that we meet. It's up to the council.
So it's an open meeting.
Yeah. All our meetings have been open,
Yes, it's 5:30.
Yeah. 5:30. And that's on WebEx, that's in person if you want to come in person. Procedural questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is there going to be a cost benefit analysis done of what it will cost the county to do Councilman 2 in 2024?